Hello guys, this is Moksha Shah from TA Electronics. So today I'll be showing you all an experiment on SCMIT trigger and its applications. So let's just start with the SCMIT trigger. Before that, I want to show you all the problem of using an open loop comparator. So I'll just show you all by this paint. Over here, this is an non-inverting comparator. So since the input is at the positive terminal, when there is a noise coming in, that is the unwanted voltage is coming into the input, there is a false triggering at the output. How? Since this is the sine wave, there is a noise coming in, again the sine wave, again the noise, again the noise. So at the output, whenever there is a vref crossover, you all can see when it is positive, again it's going positive, again there is a crossover, negative positive, negative positive. So this is the noise is disturbing the output and it is not good for the circuit. So for that, to remove that noise, and if even if the noise comes in, the output is not affected by that noise, we go to SCMIT trigger. How SCMIT trigger improves the noise? So for that, we'll be using a feedback from the output to the non-inverting. For the inverting, SCMIT trigger will give input at the inverting side, that is the AC input, and there is a voltage divider over here. The values of the resistors that I have taken is depending on the Vt equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 times Vset. Now I have measured the Vset from the open loop comparator, that is I got 14, and from that I got a relationship between R1 and R2, which was nothing but R1 is equal to 6 times R2. So when I got the values of resistors, I've substituted over here and I got the upper trip point and the lower trip point. Now what is upper trip point and the lower trip point? At the output you get a positive V set as well as the negative V set. Now for the Vt that we are taking is also a positive V, that is nothing but the reference voltage also. So it is positive and negative. So that is upper trip point and the lower trip point. Now uh, when there is a, this is the sinusoidal wave I've shown over here. So at the sinusoidal wave, when my input is lesser than the Vref, positive Vref, my input is lesser than the positive Vref, it output is non-inverting minus the inverting, so it will be positive V saturation. Now when my input increases, that is the V input is more than the Vref, my input is increased, this has decreased, so it will go to the minus V saturation. Now there is an again a crossover over here. My input voltage is now lesser than the Vref. Now my input voltage is lesser than the Vref, but at the output that it was minus Vset, which has fed back over here, because of which I am still getting a minus Vset. Now again there is a crossover, that is from minus Vref. Now at minus Vref, my input voltage has decreased further. That is, my input side has decreased much more. So I am getting a positive V set. So as you all can see, the change in the output is at the positive Vref, and then at the second positive Vref there is no change, and then it at the first negative Vref there is a change. Again at the second negative Vref there is no change, that is the alternating change. So now even if there is a noise coming over here, there is no change in the output. So we can say that more the hysteresis. Now what is hysteresis? Nothing but the upper trip point, this is the upper trip point, minus the lower trip point. If it is more, your circuit is more immune, that is even if the noise comes in, your circuit output is not being affected. So it is shown by the uh, transfer characteristics. Now in the transfer characteristics, you all can see this is positive Vt. My V in is now more. So if my Vin is more, it goes to the negative Vis set, that is right side. Now if my Vin is less, it goes to the positive Vis set, that is the left side. So this is shown by the transfer characteristics. Now I'll show you all by the inverting Schmidt trigger. So I built the circuit. I'll just change the values. Okay, 50. I'll change the transition. Just right click and you all can change directly. Okay, now run. This is my input and this is my output. So you all can see you all are getting a proper square wave. Now if I increase it further, if I increase the frequency further, that is 1k, I will still get a output. I'll change the transition time. Yes, you all can see the output. So same thing I've done over here. I've checked the output at a different frequencies, that is 500, 1k, 5k and the 10k. Now going next to its application, that is the astable multi-vibrator. Now what is astable multi-vibrator? As you all can see, this part of the circuit is nothing but the Schmidt trigger, and at the instead of giving an input, we have connected a capacitor and the resistor. So my output depends on the RC constant. Okay, so now what happens in the astable multivibrator? While taking the resistor's value, that is nothing but 2 times RC log of 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta, where beta is nothing but this R2 upon R1 plus R2. Okay, so we are taking it as frequency 1k hertz. So we are getting the values of capacitors accordingly. Now at the output, you all can see, whenever I'll show you all by the graph that has yes. Now over here, when there is a VC, that is the my capacitor is at the peak of positive Vref. At the peak of positive Vref, my in you all can see over here, this inverting has increased and the non-inverting has decreased. So at the output it should be non-inverting minus the inverting, so it will go to the minus V saturation. Now at the minus V saturation, my capacitor goes on reducing till minus Vref. Now as it's going to the minus Vref, this has been reduced and it the value at the non-inverting has increased. So from this point it will start increasing, and then when the capacitor goes to the positive Vref, again it goes on decreasing, and my output also goes to the minus V saturation. So this is about the astable multivibrator. I'll show you all at the Spice. I've already built the circuit for the same astable multivibrator. So this is the astable multivibrator. I'll just run. So this is the input side, that is the capacitor, and this is the output. So this is just the capacitor that is taking time. So I'll just, you all can just right click and change the to 2 milliseconds to see the output properly. Okay, there's a okay small m. Yes, so as you all can see, capacitor is increasing and it reaches posit the peak value, and then it will go on reducing, that is the minus V set. So this is a stable multivibrator. Now we'll go next to the ramp generator. Now for the ramp generator, we'll use a astable multivibrator. To that we'll connect a Zener diodes back to back, and then it will be connected to an integrator circuit. So now integrator just converts it to a ramp voltage. So for that, what we'll do, we'll take the Zener diode values to be same. If it is same, then your positive and negative uh, values, that is the positive ramp and the negative peak values will be similar. If I have different diode values, then it will be different for the positive peak and different for the negative peak, and will not get a proper ramp output. So I'll show you all on the LT Spice for the same. So for the ramp, just open. So this is my ramp wave generator. I'll just run. So at the output, you all can see this is a square wave. Yes, and at the output you are getting a proper ramp. So this was about the ramp. Now to get a sawtooth wave, I'll open that also. File open. Yeah, so this is the circuit for the sawtooth wave. Over here I'm using a potentiometer, and I can adjust the values of this two to get a output accordingly. So I'll just run right now. So at the output, y'all are getting a sawtooth wave, and this is the input side. You all are getting a square wave. Now by adjusting the values of this R6 and R5, I can change the output. So if I change it to 2K, I should get a ramp, since both positive and negative values will be coming. Yes, so I'm getting a ramp wave. If I further increase to 8K, again it will go back to a sawtooth. If I increase the right side, it will tilt towards the left side. I'll increase it to, let's say, 10K, no more, 15K. You all can see the change in the output. Yes, it's tilting towards the left side. So this is the sawtooth waveform generation, which the output gets changed by the potentiometer that we have connected to the another op-amp. So this was the sawtooth wave generation. So in this experiment, we saw the Schmitt trigger and its applications, that is the astable multivibrator, through which we also saw how to give the output a ramp and the sawtooth waveform also. Thank you.